Well, I keep messing up my job again. Only me. Oh, I got denied for another date again. Only me. My money's just not where it should be right now.
You what?
Only me, right? I'm homeless. Only me. Never letting off of that gas pedal of being critical towards your own self. Within a lot of cases with people who are involved with the act of self-deprecation towards themselves, it is involved with an extensive amount of humor, which I believe can keep this self-deprecation alive within one's life and never help any individual overcome and just get completely away from it. Because humor is pure therapy. It's meant to be said and told and understood in a way that makes you take life not so seriously. And with that understanding, when going about with humor, it creates rejuvenation within oneself. And if you're out there just completely tearing yourself apart with self-deprecating humor, you're doing that exact opposite of what humor actually stands for. And you're exactly going to get the outcome of the opposite of what humor stands for within your own life. I would say it's the most obvious thing to point out and witness with a man being so self-deprecating towards himself if you are witnessing it. Because if a guy is completely full-blown involved with self-deprecation towards himself at any present time in front of a lot of people, in front of his closest friends and families, he's viewed as probably the weakest substance on earth at that moment. And sure, sympathy can be bought, but it also can be forgotten. As in, you can plead to your present world with your self-deprecation as much as you want at any time, anywhere, but it's going to get to a certain point where people are just not going to fucking take it anymore. They're going to avoid you. They're going to judge you. They're going to keep making you believe it over and over again until you are forced to overcome this yourself. I've probably mentioned it before, but I have been involved greatly with self-deprecation, and it's addicting. It's hard to get away from if you dig so deeply within your own life. It's hard to climb out of it because of the result of doing it for such a very long time, and especially for us guys, because us guys can be incredibly stubborn within our world, is it gets to a point where it shells you and your current outlook just only looks as pessimistic as possible at all times. And it very much so gets to a point, no matter what you're engaging in, no matter if you know what should make you happy, feel good, pull you out of a rut for a current split second, you're going to be pessimistic through that too as well. You're just not going to get away from it. Your world will run on your sorrows. But ridding oneself of self-deprecation can be as easy as flipping on a light switch. The hard part is maintaining it. Stuff will constantly keep trying to flip that switch off, and it will, if you have a will enough for it to let you. And that's the whole point and answer behind all this, is if you let it flip that switch off. What can really help is making some kind of a list, or just naming it off from the top of your head, of all the great things that are actually going on within your life. It can be so insignificant to you in your head, no matter how insignificant you've tried to make it seem like within your head with self-deprecation. Lay it out there as a positive, lay it out there as an accomplishment. Lay it out there as you're proud that this is a part of you. Because that brings optimism within one's life. And what you want to do is feed that optimistic fuel to you internally to disperse it out to your outcome. To have an optimistic viewpoint on your reality. Because if you truly don't do that, you're going to become more self-deprecating. You're going to deprecate your own self within your own life. You're going to start avoiding everything. You're not going to talk. You're going to neglect hygiene. You're going to probably end up in a room, a dark room, looking at a screen all day, not wanting to interact with anything because you are in fear. And you feel like if you start to interact, self-deprecation will pull you right back in, and you'll come up with an immediate excuse to keep you there. So just simply flip that switch. Break from that. Embrace everything around you. Embrace the abundance. Because once that has taken place, self-deprecation just becomes dust within the wind. Becomes non-existent. Because that's all it really is non-existent. Then you can just truly embrace reality, enthusiastically and enjoyably.
Saint Perigine, patron saint of all forms of cancer. We ask you for your help in asking God to heal my cancer and keep it in remission. Pray for me so that I may live a long and faithful life.